On here, Fred, the boy blue, the host of Juggalo Drama Alert. Sorry, I'm not on cam right now. I'm shirtless, and I just feel like shit. I'm still trying to get over this cold. But nevertheless, you may have heard about in the news lately that there was this Juggalo that allegedly, and we got the man, the myth, the legend. What should I call you? Cyraxx? Is that your Juggalo name?
Yeah. Well, it's actually my artist name, but a lot of people can, know me by different names like Virus, Blade, all kinds of stuff. So you can call me whatever, man. It's all good.
All right. So, I saw your video in a Juggalo group the other day where you were like, you're being harassed. People are doxing you. They have your address. They're threatening you and your family members.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy.
Because they think that you allegedly you had went out with this girl before, right?
Yeah. Wait, we dated around November of last year.
So yeah, why do people think that it was all you who bullied this girl to commit?
Because of basically we had our issues where she would make a video attacking me, I would make a video defending myself, and it would just go on and on and on. It just would not stop. Unfortunately, authorities got involved. FBI agents got involved to try to stop it. And they think that because one of my friends who actually stepped up, shout out, I got to give a shout out to this man, my boy Journey's the Journey and Clown, who's actually a very good friend of mine. He actually stepped in when she had made a video threatening me. He basically stepped in, basically to kind of show her, hey, how do you like when somebody does that to you kind of deal? And they're over here thinking that this person that said that is me. They've, like you said, they've sent threats to me. They've, like you said, they doxed me. They got the make and model of my mom's car. They got my address. They got all kinds of stuff. And I'm just like, what the heck? Like, how do you guys figure I did it? Because the night that I was actually working on an instrumental for a friend of mine. So I was up super late trying to work on it. And I fell asleep around, I think 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, somewhere around in there. Fell asleep, woke up around 4 in the afternoon. I wake up to go check my YouTube channel because, I got where notifications are on for certain YouTubers like Slap Train, Jacksepticeye, a few big names that, some of you guys might recognize. And I seen that I had some notifications, figured it was them. I went to go check. Turns out it was actually my friend Boogeyman, who a lot of you guys know from YouTube. Dude's name is Boogeyman. You guys probably know him by now through all the crap that went on. He had told me that he had hoped that I was happy because Candle, and I was in shock. I was like, what? I was taken back by it. I'm like, what the heck? So I freaking call him up. I'm like, dude, what happened? And that's when he had told me that night before, she had unfortunately ended her life by slitting her wrists. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why? And he doesn't even know. And just from there, people started calling me murderer and this and that. And it's been an ongoing, continuous, never-ending cycle. And it's why? What makes you guys think I had something to do with it when I was passed out that night? It makes no sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just because you had went out with this girl and you had problems and you both were attacking each other, people just want to point the finger at you.
Basically, yeah, and it's stupid because that's not only career life, coming up in the music scene, trying to get my stuff out there and rebuilding from the ground up and trying to actually get a label to look at my shit and actually sign me so I can start making money for my family. But that's also, affecting my day-to-day life. On the side, I do a lot of photography type stuff. And normally I'm outside, doing photos, updating my portfolio on Facebook. But I can't even do that because these guys have my address. And me not knowing if they're going to show up is it's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, pretty scary shit.
Yeah, it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Like the other day, on the 20th, it was actually my birthday, so I went out with my family, and I was lucky to even be able to do that.
Yeah. Damn. How did the girl?
Like I said, she had unfortunately slit her wrists and let her wrists bleed out, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Which, man, it is a sad thing, and I do genuinely feel bad for that happening because, nobody deserves that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've had friends that have, unfortunately, that have unfortunately ended their lives. And because of similar stuff, like the bullying, the cyberbullying, like that stuff gets to you. Like, and that's one thing that I do try to make a point of in a lot of my songs, is how a lot of this stuff, like the cyberbullying, the negativity, how all that can lead up and sometimes even worse stuff than that. Like, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. So, so it couldn't have been. It wasn't just you. It had to have been other people attacking her as well. It's just everything.
Because I know around the time I know that she was pregnant, and I know that like the CSB or whatever they're called had threatened to take her kid because of her past. Because I'll admit she did have some not very big, but mental issues that raised a few concerns. And so I know that, the fear of that, had a lot to do with it and just different stuff in general. And it's just like, why point the finger at me when I wasn't the only issue? There was a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
So like, why point the finger at just one person when it was multiple things?
Right. Well, damn. So now because of that, you have all these people attacking you, threatening to come to your house and harm you and your family members.
Yeah, like, and it's sad too, because like, and the reason I know a lot of people get on me about this, but the reason why I do stay with my 2015, my brother had unfortunately lost his life to lung cancer, and then a couple of years later, my mom got hit by a car. So like, it's hard for her to do stuff. Like she can walk and do certain things, but because of that being hit by a car, I generally had to stay here at the house, help out with what I can, and then with both her and her boyfriend going into surgery soon for different things, like it's hard to be able to do certain things, and a lot of people don't get that. When you're in that spot, you don't necessarily have that luxury of working a regular job. So you kind of have to make do with what you got.
Yeah.
So, that's why, I turn to my music, why I push, my music a lot. I'm actually currently working on a book, trying to get that published. Hopefully I'll be able to, I don't know. But, that's why I push all these different things to try to make money where I can. So, I can help, out a little bit more than what I am.
Damn. So you're working on a book, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's basically from like a first person perspective. It's like a dark horror type story, but it's like from a first person perspective where like the reader themselves is actually the main character. So it's pretty interesting so far.
Yeah, it does sound interesting. Wow. Okay. Well, so you say you make music. How can people find your music?
If you go to YouTube, you can actually look up. Matter of fact, I'll actually send both the links right now to the thing. Like, you guys can go to either one of these and find like all my stuff. Well, not just my stuff. Like, there's some other ones on there too. Let's see, where's the chat on this thing? All right, there you go. All right, the first one I'm gonna send you is to my new one. Like, that's to my new channel where you guys can find. Like, I've only got like 2 videos up because I just started rebuilding the other day. With everything going on, I kind of had to, unfortunately, come up with a new name and whatnot and everything. And everybody keeps asking me how I came up with Cyraxx. I'm like, dude, like, that's one of my favorite characters from the Mortal Kombat series. Like, how Like, how can you not know who Cyraxx is?
Mm-hmm.
Like, him and Sector are like I won't say they're like two of the coolest, but they're definitely a couple of the characters within the Mortal Kombat franchise that definitely do stick out as like I don't want to say the weird ones, but definitely the odd ones of the bunch, more or less, because they're not really used that much.
I love the smoke robot.
Yeah, dude, Smoke is a freaking beast. I fuck with Smoke.
Mm-hmm.
But the second one is actually the main one where you can check out all my music. You can check out some new artists that are coming up, like my boy Big Celtic, my good friend, and actually he's pretty much like my little brother. Like I've known the guy for like 2-3 years now. Like he's super cool. You can check out my boy Bradley on there. Like that's basically where I mainly post my music at and stuff. So you guys can definitely check out the BSR channel for new stuff, here and there throughout the days and whatnot. I actually just released, surprisingly, my first new metal / rock album very recently called Born to Bleed, which basically talks about, the times that I was, in a really bad relationship. I was being mentally abused, verbally abused. And in some ways I was on that edge. So the whole album as a whole kind of talks about, what I was going through in that time period, and basically, what was going on in my head and like how everything, was in general.
Mm-hmm. All right. But just to sum it up, I just wanted to do this show so you have had a chance to explain yourself, because I seen one of my friends had made a video talking about you, blaming you, like it's all your fault for this Juggalo yourself, when it had to have been a combination of things, everything going on in her life. It wasn't just you, because you had fights with you.
Different things, and like I said, for everything that I did say, about how I was glad that she was dead, I'll admit I did say that, but it was from the perspective of this is what she said to me. She threatened my family, she threatened my life. So that's where I was coming from with that perspective. And when I talked to her boyfriend Paul, like I said, he was a good friend of mine. Like he completely understood. He's like, dude, I had no idea that went on. And that's when I was like, yeah, like this is what happened before you guys got together. This is what went down. And that's why I said, that time period when I was like super pissed and I made that video, stating that I was glad that she was dead. I was coming from that perspective of, when somebody, threatens your family, or that person that, a family member is finally dead. That's where I was coming from, was that perspective of, just generally a normal person, being scared and fearing for your family's life kind of deal.
Yeah, if it was your fault, then I'm sure there would have been legal action taken.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There would have been by now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's been over a year, so obviously there would have been something done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, man. Well, I guess I just want to wrap it up. Thanks for being on the show, defending yourself.
Always happy to help out where I can, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry you're going through this. People have your address and your family's information and shit like that. It must be pretty scary. And you shouldn't have to live in fear like that.
It's tough, but I'm doing what I can to get through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess try to keep your head up, homie. Thanks for being on the show. I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I'll talk to you on Facebook.
All right, man. Sounds good, bro.
All right, take it easy, man.
Yeah, me too, man. Thanks for having me on, dude.
Yep, whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Peace.